speak too much, and now I know I have 5, so it's 2.5 times. I don't know what to do with 5 minutes now. I first, being consistent with what I said before, I believe that unexpected things can change everything. But on the other side, there are certain patterns. That's reality in life. You have to be able to focus and just think in 25 years on the patterns. If you want to focus on other things that are going to be changed in a way that you cannot even believe, you are going to waste your time. I was just reading the other day a paper, I went through the map of some researchers that were showing that the process of species evolution, when they want to stabilize and not lose species in one area you're conserving, actually is a chaotic process. And if you can demonstrate that that is a chaotic process, it's very little that you're going to be able to do to obtain what you want. You're going to obtain anything, but not what you want. But on the other side, you know that the Earth turns around the world. You don't know if June, at least in my country, is winter. You don't know if June 17 is going to be raining, but you know it's going to be winter. So if you want to think in 25 years from now, you have to think of those things that are permanent. And my view, in 2 minutes, I thought, what is more permanent? I think the problem we have with this necessary evil, there is a government. I believe that that is the best way of describing it. It's a different way of saying, like Churchill was mentioning, democracy is the worst kind of government except all the others. So that my perception is that we have to focus on what we can do in order to improve this relation between government and citizens, and not transforming governments in what they can be, and can be really an evil for society. And I think we're in a crossroads for that. And technology is putting us in a position where in 25 years from now, government can be really a big brother. I'm amazed how Americans are accepting, and this is a problem for us. I'm a member of the board of banking, and I'm amazed how we are being forced to process information of everybody. You know, it's not of my sympathy, the former governor of New York, but I really am shocked that he was somehow got in the problem, because private information, very small private information, $4,000 good, was channeled to government offices about what he was doing, you know, and we can allow that. If we allow that 25 years from now, we can't even imagine what kind of government, an evil government, we can have. On the other side, the technology can just provide the opposite. The technology in 25 years from now can provide us for really have governments where they have to be competing for services. People paying taxes if they receive services, changing constituencies if they don't like it. Companies incorporate where they believe it's better and they receive reasonable services and training all over the world. So we have this kind of opportunity, and I think it will depend, again, how we allow the government to use or not to use, or the society to use or not to use this technology. Again, this is culture. You were mentioning it as a marketing issue. I believe it. I first prefer to use it as a cultural issue. We have to create and help to create the culture that people shouldn't accept the first and should accept the second. I think the critical mass is there. It depends on how you present the issues. And I think we have to work on presenting those issues in the right way. Poor people is one thing. We have to discuss about poor people, and we are seen as against helping the poor. We are lost. We're never going to win an election. On the other side, if we, instead of saying that, we say we don't like bureaucracy, we don't like how bureaucracy gets the money and use the money for themselves, then we may win. Looking at it as a politician, for me that was the difference between Reagan and Thatcher. When they were winning, they were able to put the discussion in the same problem but in a different side of the coin. But which side of the coin I would like us to look now in order to help to solve, because I think what we have to focus on what we can do. I think we have to single out certain issues that the governments should not be able to do. And I think we have to limit the capacity of governments. And we can have friends of that, even friends of people that don't think like us. And the capacity of coercing people that government has. Today, everybody accepts that governments cannot force people to go into the draft for military purposes. That was not even possible to think 25 years ago. But we accept that government can force people to charge taxes to other people and to go to jail if they don't do it. You know, companies are forced to charge taxes to everybody, and then they go to jail if they happen not to fulfill the law in the exact situation. We are kind of in a situation where we are allowing government, or culturally we are allowing government to force people to do things for them. I would love for governments to be forced to charge taxes to people. Really, not what they do today. Today, somebody else is the guy that is not paying the taxes, and they are the poor side of the coin. And that is not only taxes, many other things. The way I would love to see that information cannot be forced governments to receive it from private institutions. It should be very difficult for government. The only way governments can obtain information actually is private institutions, through individuals. They obtain information of everybody through banks, as I mentioned, but through many other institutions. So I think there is something we can do. In Latin America, we can do other things, but I want to stop here because I think my time is over. But it's related, again, with this 25 years from now, we allow that government to become even more nimble using the technology, or we force them to become more competitive and more servicing to the citizen.